Have you ever stopped to ask why money doesn't feel the same as it did for previous generations? Why your paycheck, no matter how steady, often seems to fall short of freedom and fulfillment? In Money Ain't What It Used to Be, we uncover how the value of money has shifted, why old assumptions no longer serve us, and how understanding this change can help you take control of your life energy, live intentionally, and make every dollar count toward what truly matters. Section 1. Money Ain't What It Used to Be. We step now into a world where the rules of money are not what they once were. The dollars in your pocket, the numbers in your bank account, and even the paychecks you work so hard to earn no longer carry the same meaning they once did. Money, as a tool and measure of security, has transformed, shaped by technology, globalization, inflation, and societal expectations. To navigate this changing landscape, we must first understand how and why the old assumptions no longer serve us. For generations, people were taught a simple equation: work hard, earn steadily, save diligently, and enjoy security in the long term. That framework was reliable when wages were stable, the cost of living predictable, and communities provided support systems. But today, the reality is far different. Careers are less linear, expenses rise faster than wages, and the pressures of modern life challenge even the most disciplined savers. In this context, holding on to outdated beliefs about money can leave us stressed, unprepared, and disconnected from what truly matters. The authors encourage us to look beyond the numbers. Money is not just a measure of wealth. It is a reflection of priorities, choices, and life energy. When the value of money shifts over time due to inflation or economic changes, the hours we trade for it gain new significance. What once brought security may no longer provide it. What once seemed abundant may feel scarce. Recognizing this helps us see that the financial system is not static, it is dynamic, and our understanding of it must evolve accordingly. Moreover, societal messages about money can distort perception. From childhood, we are taught that success is measured by income, material possessions, and status. Advertisements, peer comparisons, and social media reinforce the idea that more is always better. Yet, as the cost of living changes, the meaning of enough shifts too. What satisfied one generation may leave the next feeling perpetually behind. The challenge lies in distinguishing between cultural conditioning and personal values, between the illusion of wealth and the reality of meaningful living. This new reality also calls for a deeper awareness of the hidden costs of money. Beyond the obvious price tags, money exacts an invisible toll. The hours spent earning it, the stress endured to maintain it, and the sacrifices made in health, relationships, and personal fulfillment. By recognizing these costs, we can begin to make more intentional decisions that prioritize life energy over mere accumulation. It's no longer enough to earn and spend. We must evaluate whether our choices truly support the life we want to live. Technology has accelerated these changes. Online banking, digital payments, and global markets make money feel both more accessible and more elusive. Instant transactions create a sense of immediacy that can obscure the real value of each dollar. At the same time, new opportunities for earning, investing, and saving emerge, offering flexibility and control that previous generations never had. The key is discernment, understanding how to use these tools wisely without losing sight of life energy and personal values. Ultimately, this first section lays the foundation for a critical shift in perspective. Money is no longer just a tool for survival or a measure of status. It is a reflection of the choices we make with our life energy, a dynamic entity influenced by forces beyond our immediate control, and a signal pointing to what we truly value. By understanding that money isn't what it used to be, we gain the clarity needed to navigate modern life, make intentional financial decisions, and begin the journey toward aligning our spending, earning, and saving with what genuinely matters. This awareness is the first step toward reclaiming autonomy over your financial life. It challenges assumptions, invites reflection, and sets the stage for the practical strategies, exercises, and insights that will follow. By grasping the changing nature of money, we prepare ourselves to live intentionally, invest wisely in our time and energy, and design a life that prioritizes purpose over mere accumulation. Section 2. The changing value of money. As we continue, it becomes clear that money is not what it used to be, not just in how we earn it, but in what it represents and how we measure its worth. The purchasing power of $1 today is fundamentally different from decades past. Inflation, economic shifts, and global markets constantly alter the real value of our earnings, meaning that what once seemed sufficient to cover a lifetime of needs may now feel inadequate. Understanding this dynamic is essential if we wish to make conscious, informed choices with our resources. Money is often thought of as fixed, a stable tool for security. Yet in reality, it is fluid, influenced by forces far beyond individual control. Prices fluctuate, currencies rise and fall, and investments carry risk. Even steady wages cannot fully compensate for the changing cost of living, housing, healthcare, and education. What this teaches us is that relying on old assumptions about money, working long hours for a paycheck, saving blindly, or expecting security to come from conventional sources is increasingly risky. The strategies of the past no longer guarantee the outcomes they once did. This shift affects our perception of wealth and sufficiency. Many people cling to outdated benchmarks, a certain salary, a specific home size, or a fixed retirement number. Yet the context in which these goals were once meaningful has evolved. A comfortable life in the past might require far more resources today. Conversely, the notion of enough is highly personal and relative. It depends not only on material needs, but also on life priorities, values, and the true cost of the energy spent to earn it. By separating cultural expectations from individual reality, we gain the ability to define sufficiency on our own terms. Technology and globalization further complicate the picture. The world economy moves faster than ever, offering opportunities for some while creating uncertainty for others. Jobs that were once stable may vanish, replaced by automation or shifting market demands. Digital currencies and online financial tools provide new ways to store, transfer, and grow wealth, but they also introduce complexity and risk. Understanding these forces allows us to navigate modern life with awareness rather than reacting blindly to change. Another important factor is the emotional dimension of money. Money is not neutral. It carries meaning, status, and identity. When the value of money changes, it influences not only our bank accounts, but our mindset, decisions, and sense of security. Anxiety, stress, and comparison often stem from misunderstanding the true value of what we earn and spend. By seeing money as life energy, we begin to account for the hidden costs of work, consumption, and financial obligations. This perspective shifts the focus from accumulation for its own sake to investment in well-being and purpose. Practical understanding begins with tracking and reflection. Evaluating income, expenses, and financial commitments is no longer just about budgeting. It's about seeing where your life energy is going and whether it aligns with what you truly value. Each dollar earned represents hours of effort, energy, and attention. When money is understood in these terms, every spending decision carries weight. Awareness allows us to make choices that support long-term freedom rather than short-term consumption or status. Finally, grasping the changing value of money equips us to make intentional decisions in a modern world. By understanding that money is dynamic, relative, and tied to life energy, we free ourselves from rigid assumptions and cultural pressures. This clarity is the foundation for redefining financial success, not as mere accumulation, but as the alignment of earning, spending, and saving with values, purpose, and meaningful living. It is the lens through which the next steps of this journey can be navigated consciously, deliberately, and with real freedom. Section 3. Rethinking Work, Income, and Life Energy. As we deepen our understanding of money's shifting role, it becomes essential to examine the relationship between work, income, and life energy. Every hour spent earning money is an investment of your most finite resource, time. Traditional thinking encourages trading as many hours as possible for income, believing that financial accumulation equates to security, status, and freedom. Yet, when we consider money as life energy, this approach demands a more critical look. Are we truly exchanging our time for meaningful gain, or merely reinforcing the old, inefficient roadmap? Work has changed dramatically from previous generations. Stable, lifelong careers are increasingly rare, replaced by contract positions, freelance opportunities, and the gig economy. While these shifts can offer flexibility, they also introduce uncertainty. The value of money earned in this environment is not just numerical. It reflects trade-offs in stress, time, and personal fulfillment. Understanding these trade-offs requires honesty. Are the hours spent at work enhancing your life, or are they draining the very energy that money is supposed to protect? Income, too, must be viewed through a new lens. Beyond the raw number, what matters is how it aligns with priorities and values. Two individuals earning the same salary may experience vastly different levels of well-being depending on how their money supports their life goals, reduces stress, and preserves freedom. Income is not inherently good or sufficient. Its real value is determined by the balance it creates between work, personal life, and fulfillment. This perspective challenges the common assumption that more money automatically equals more happiness. We must also reconsider the concept of enough. In a world where living costs rise, desires are constantly amplified by advertising, and comparison is inevitable. Defining sufficiency is a revolutionary act. What constitutes enough for you may be radically different from cultural norms or neighborly expectations. By determining your own threshold of sufficiency, you reclaim control over work, consumption, and saving. Every decision can then be made intentionally, guided by purpose rather than compulsion or external pressure. Another key insight is that money is not only a measure of survival, but a tool for intentional living. When you recognize the hours, energy, and attention invested in earning it, you naturally begin to prioritize how it is spent. Each dollar becomes a vote for the kind of life you want to live. Choices about spending, saving, and investing are no longer abstract financial calculations. They are reflections of your values and priorities in tangible form. This shift transforms money from a source of stress to a tool of empowerment. Debt, obligations, and unnecessary consumption complicate this relationship. Money that goes to paying interest, servicing loans, or funding unaligned desires represents life energy diverted from meaningful pursuits. By minimizing these drains and focusing on alignment between income, values, and goals, individuals begin to free time, reduce stress, and reclaim control over their energy. Financial freedom is not simply the absence of debt, it is the conscious allocation of life energy to what truly matters. Ultimately, rethinking work, income, and life energy is the cornerstone of modern financial literacy. It allows us to see beyond the old model of endless earning and accumulation, to question societal pressures, and to evaluate choices through the lens of purpose and well-being. By understanding money as a reflection of life energy, we begin to design a life in which work serves our goals, income supports our values, and each hour invested contributes to a meaningful, balanced existence. This awareness prepares the ground for the next steps: intentional spending, mindful saving, and redefining the meaning of wealth in a world where money is no longer what it used to be. Section 4. The Hidden Costs of Money. As we explore deeper, it becomes clear that money carries hidden costs beyond what we see on paper. Every dollar we earn represents hours of life energy, time, focus, and effort that can never be recovered. Yet most people treat money as abstract, failing to account for the true cost of obtaining it. The emotional, physical, and relational expenses of earning money are often invisible but accumulate over time, shaping the quality of life in profound ways. Recognizing these hidden costs is essential to living intentionally and reclaiming freedom. Consider stress. Long hours, demanding jobs, and the constant push for more income create a cumulative toll on the mind and body. Chronic stress affects health, relationships, and even longevity. When income comes at the expense of well-being, the apparent gain is undermined by hidden costs that may be invisible in financial statements but felt in exhaustion, anxiety, and a sense of emptiness. Money earned without alignment with values can paradoxically diminish life rather than enhance it. Another hidden cost is opportunity lost. Time spent earning, managing finances, or working to cover debt could otherwise be invested in relationships, personal growth, or creative pursuits. The old assumptions about work and money often blind us to these trade-offs. Each hour traded for income carries the unseen price of experiences not had, skills not developed, and moments with loved ones forfeited. Recognizing these opportunity costs allows us to weigh decisions more carefully and prioritize what truly matters. Debt and unnecessary consumption amplify the impact of hidden costs. Borrowing to sustain a lifestyle beyond your means compounds stress, consumes future income, and restricts freedom. Similarly, purchasing items that do not align with values turns money into a drain on life energy rather than a tool for fulfillment. By accounting for these hidden costs, individuals gain clarity about where money is serving life versus where it is depleting it. Financial awareness transforms spending from a habit into a conscious act, guided by purpose and intention. The cultural narrative often obscures these costs. Society encourages us to equate material success with happiness, promoting a cycle of endless consumption and comparison. Advertising, social media, and peer pressure create the illusion that more is better, masking the true costs paid in time, stress, and compromised well-being. Awareness of these forces allows us to step back, question assumptions, and make deliberate choices that preserve energy and align with values. Mindfulness and reflection are critical tools for identifying hidden costs. Tracking not only expenditures, but also the hours, effort, and stress associated with earning them provides a new perspective. Each financial decision becomes a tangible reflection of life energy. Recognizing patterns, where money is draining life instead of enhancing it, enables strategic adjustments, such as reducing unnecessary obligations, negotiating more favorable work conditions, or reallocating effort toward activities with higher personal value. Ultimately, uncovering the hidden costs of money is a transformative step. It reframes our understanding of wealth, shifting focus from mere accumulation to intentional allocation of life energy. By seeing the invisible toll, we gain insight into the true price of income and consumption, empowering us to make choices that preserve freedom, enhance well-being, and create a life that is both financially and personally fulfilling. This awareness lays the groundwork for the next steps, redefining priorities, aligning spending with values, and designing a life where money supports, rather than controls, our freedom and happiness. Section 5. Redefining financial priorities. With a clear understanding of the changing nature of money and its hidden costs, the next step is to redefine financial priorities. Traditional frameworks, earn more, spend less, save for retirement, are no longer sufficient in today's dynamic world. True financial freedom comes not from rigid adherence to outdated rules, but from aligning income, spending, and savings with personal values, purpose, and long-term well-being. This redefinition requires both reflection and action. First, it's essential to clarify what truly matters. Beyond bills, debt, and societal expectations, what are the goals, experiences, and relationships that bring genuine fulfillment? For some, it may be time with family. For others, travel, creative work, or personal growth. Money is a tool, and its value is derived from the life it enables. By identifying priorities, we can make conscious decisions about how we earn, allocate, and invest our resources. Each financial choice becomes a vote for the life we want to live. Next, we examine alignment between resources and goals. Are current spending patterns supporting what matters most, or are they driven by habit, expectation, or cultural pressure? Misaligned spending creates stress and dissatisfaction, even when income seems sufficient. By tracking where money goes and evaluating its connection to life energy, we can identify areas for adjustment. Redirecting funds from non-essential consumption toward meaningful priorities enhances both well-being and financial control. Debt management is a critical component of this process. Borrowing for experiences or possessions that do not align with priorities can trap life energy and undermine freedom. Strategic repayment, consolidation, or avoidance of unnecessary debt preserves energy for what truly matters. Each payment toward aligned goals reinforces autonomy, reduces stress, and builds confidence in one's ability to live intentionally. Savings and investment strategies should also reflect priorities. Rather than focusing solely on accumulation, consider the purpose behind each dollar saved. Emergency funds, retirement accounts, or education savings gain real significance when tied to life goals. This perspective transforms saving from a distant, abstract obligation into a tangible act of self-care and intentional living. Money becomes a tool for empowerment rather than a source of anxiety. Flexibility is another vital principle. Life is unpredictable, and rigid financial plans may create stress rather than security. Redefining priorities requires adaptability, adjusting strategies as circumstances change while keeping core values intact. By allowing for adjustments, you maintain control over energy and resources without sacrificing purpose. Flexibility ensures that financial decisions remain aligned with evolving needs, aspirations, and opportunities. Finally, communication and shared understanding enhance this process. For those with partners or families, discussing values, goals, and priorities fosters collaboration and reduces conflict. Shared clarity about money, life energy, and priorities strengthens relationships and ensures that decisions serve collective well-being rather than individual stress or misalignment. Redefining financial priorities transforms the way we view money. It shifts the focus from accumulation and obligation to purpose, alignment, and intentional use of life energy. By identifying what truly matters, aligning resources accordingly, managing debt strategically, saving with purpose, and maintaining flexibility, we lay the foundation for financial freedom. This redefinition prepares the path for the final section, where we explore practical strategies to integrate these insights into daily life, creating a sustainable and intentional relationship with money. Section 6. The Path to Intentional Living. Having examined the changing nature of money, its hidden costs, and the need to redefine priorities, we arrive at the final step, creating a path to intentional living. This is where awareness transforms into action, and insights about money become tools to shape a life aligned with purpose, values, and freedom. Intentional living is not a distant ideal. It is a practice embedded in daily choices, habits, and decisions about how we earn, spend, and save. The first principle of intentional living is conscious allocation of life energy. Each hour spent earning money represents a tangible investment of effort, focus, and vitality. When money is treated as life energy, spending it without intention becomes wasteful. Intentional living requires that we consider not just the financial cost, but the time and energy invested to earn it. Every purchase, every investment, and every work decision should reflect a deliberate choice aligned with life goals. Second, clarity of values is essential. Identifying what truly matters, health, relationships, personal growth, creativity, or contribution, provides a framework for decisions. Money becomes a vehicle to support these priorities rather than a goal in itself. By anchoring financial choices in values, we reduce unnecessary stress, avoid the trap of endless comparison, and create a life that feels meaningful rather than merely busy. Each decision gains significance because it reflects who we are and the life we wish to cultivate. Budgeting and tracking play a transformative role when approached intentionally. Rather than viewing budgets as restrictive, they are reframed as instruments of empowerment. Tracking income and expenses reveals patterns of energy allocation, highlights misalignments, and illuminates opportunities to redirect resources toward priorities. This process turns abstract financial statements into tangible insights, making each choice purposeful and intentional. Flexibility and adaptability are equally critical. Life is inherently unpredictable, and rigid plans often create stress rather than security. Intentional living allows for adjustments as circumstances evolve while keeping core values at the center. This approach ensures that freedom is maintained even when challenges arise, whether from changes in income, expenses, or life circumstances. Flexibility allows us to respond rather than react, maintaining alignment with purpose while navigating uncertainty. Intentional living also emphasizes the integration of financial decisions with emotional and relational well-being. Sharing values, goals, and financial strategies with loved ones strengthens relationships and fosters collaboration. It ensures that financial choices support collective well-being, reduce conflict, and build shared understanding. Money, when managed intentionally, becomes a tool for connection rather than a source of tension. Finally, the path to intentional living is iterative. It requires reflection, adaptation, and continuous refinement. Awareness of money's changing value, the hidden costs of earning, and the alignment of resources with priorities creates a foundation for ongoing growth. Each choice, small or large, becomes a step toward a life of clarity, autonomy, and fulfillment. Over time, intentional living transforms not only financial habits, but the experience of life itself. By committing to this path, you reclaim control over your energy, time, and resources. Money is no longer a trap or a source of stress. It becomes a tool for designing a life that reflects purpose, aligns with values, and nurtures well-being. This practice sets the stage for the next chapter, where we will explore practical strategies for understanding how much is enough and how to achieve financial independence while living fully, meaningfully, and intentionally. That wraps up Money Ain't What It Used to Be. We've explored how the meaning and value of money have shifted, the hidden costs of earning, and the importance of aligning spending with your life energy and priorities. Now, in Where Is It All Going? We'll take a deeper look at the flow of money in your life, uncover patterns in spending and saving, and learn how understanding these currents can help you regain control, make conscious choices, and chart a path toward financial clarity and freedom.